everybody. It's episode 325 of PodQuest.
Hey!
Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
Walnut.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
A lot better this week than it's been the last few.
It's been a weird few weeks.
Sure has.
So
I also had a minor panic attack when you started introducing us because I took a sip of water as you were saying, and then you said Drew first. I was like, oh, thank God.
So I usually do it in alphabetical order, like subconsciously.
Okay.
Like, not always. Sometimes I mess it up. But, like, usually, like, for whatever reason, even when I'm typing your names into, like, the MP3 tags, I type our names alphabetically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I don't even think about it. It just comes out that way.
That's what she said?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
I was going to say something. I forget what it is now.
It has been a crazy few weeks.
Oh, also, you guys might care. Happy Skyrim anniversary. 9 years ago today that it was released for the first of 50 million times.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
11-11-11.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised neither of you realized that, considering I've never actually played Skyrim.
Man, I worked at No, like...
Yeah, I was long gone at that point.
I was out of GameStop for, I don't know, I don't fucking remember when I got that game.
Yeah, it was the 11-11-11 thing. It's kind of like the Dreamcast was 9-9-99.
I can barely remember my family's birthdays, let alone release dates of video games.
That seems like a problem. You should get that checked.
I mean, it's just I remember Eric's because he always made a big deal about it. I remember my mom's because it's 3 days after mine. I never remember Jensen's because it always happened around Thanksgiving, so we just celebrated it on Thanksgiving. And I don't remember my dad's because we never made a big deal about it. So that's more so the reason.
So what you're saying is you don't care about your sister or your dad?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take with that what you will.
I think I just told you what Drew and I think about it. So anyway, we're gonna start the show with some sad news. Drew, I think this one's probably saddest for you. We lost Alex Trebek over the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. That was super shitty to see. I normally don't really get too emotional about celebrity deaths, but this one was as close as it's gonna get. But it was also kind of a matter of when, not if.
Yeah. So he passed away on Sunday, November 8th. He was 80. Which, that's a long time to live.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost 2 years that he'd been battling pancreatic cancer. So
yeah.
At that age to fight off something like that, and I believe I think he was diagnosed with like a later stage of it too. I don't think it was like an early stage. No,
it was definitely I'm pretty sure stage 3 when news came out.
Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, his final episodes of Jeopardy is going to air on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's nice. I know he recorded a Thanksgiving thing that they already aired.
Yeah,
and, be safe on Thanksgiving. It was supposed to air for the parade.
Yeah, he does all of the local affiliates. For ABC is what Jeopardy was on, right?
Yeah.
So he does a lot of hosts like that do their little hey Philadelphia, have a good holiday and whatnot. For the local affiliates of whatever station they're on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that he has episodes filmed through Christmas. I don't think they're just holding it for Christmas. So
right.
Whether every day is going to have an episode, I don't know. But I know they filmed up to 5 episodes a day, depending on how he was feeling. And his last day in the studio was October 29th. So there are episodes left. I just don't know how many of them. And then it'll be weird because Drew, do you actively watch Jeopardy, or is it just one of those things where if you see it, you see it, if not?
No, I don't really go out of my way to really watch it, but if we're not doing anything else at 7 o'clock and I remember, I will go to watch it. But I made sure to watch when they did that best of the best tournament thing with
where they had the 3 top winners ever or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was no, we are watching these, and I'm making sure, and I'm playing along with it, and I got killed when playing along with that, because it was incredibly hard, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, because even though I never, my grandmother used to watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune every night, and Hollywood Squares. She would flip back and forth between the three of them. Because I think Hollywood Squares aired at the same time as one of them. But, so like when we lived with her, like I would see Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune all the time. And it's just weird that like that show has been on the air with him as the host longer than any of us have been alive. And
Yeah.
come December, it's either not, like it's probably not going to be on for a while, and then it's going to have somebody different.
Yep.
Yeah. I have memories of being at my grandparents' house, and they had a TV in their kitchen, and then they had a TV in the living room, and the kids would stay in the living room. Grandparents would have Jeopardy on and Wheel of Fortune on every time we were here for dinner in the kitchen, and it just, that music reminds me of being at the house with my grandparents, and it's just, his voice and his tenure and everything. It sucks. It's a bummer. But like Drew said, it's when, not if, because of everything that was going on with him.
Yeah, and especially at his age, like,
Yeah.
the fact that he managed to fight it for as long as he did is actually, that's pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, and like, my dad still watches basically every night, so it's definitely a big thing in my family.
I'll go through stints of putting it on Netflix when I'm going to bed and things like that sometimes, but especially since quarantine, I've been watching it more.
Because you're that weirdo that can't sleep without noise or something, right?
Yeah, I need noise. I don't like silence.
You should start watching horror movies as you go to sleep.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Ain't doing that shit.
You watch it on your iPad, right?
Yeah, I have it on my iPad next to my...
Man, because you know what would be a really good April Fool's prank? If you casted it on your TV? Like, because you have a TV in your bedroom, right?
I used to.
Oh, I thought you still did.
Well, I do, but it broke. The stand broke, so it's now sitting upside down, like resting on itself upside down. I can't use it because the stand broke. I haven't used that thing in forever anyway.
But like a really good April Fool's prank, because you cast everything, would be like in the middle of the night to come over and start casting horror movies.
Yeah.
To your TV.
Yeah, especially like on days where I'm like, I fall asleep down in the living room or something. It would be just like, and sometimes I keep the volume up really loud. It would be a good joke for them to just put on something if somebody's screaming or murder or whatever.
Yeah, that would be quite funny.
That would be mean as hell, but yeah, it would be funny.
Anyway, there's not a good way to segue from that, so we're just going to do it.
Well, one last thing on it. I bet Ken Jennings winds up as the next host.
You think so?
Yeah, they hired him on as like a producer, and he does some video clue categories every now and then. And I kind of have a feeling, like, after they did that all-star tournament thing, that they went to Ken and were like, listen, because Alex's diagnosis was out at that point, and we're probably like, if you want to host, we'll bring you on. Obviously, we're not going to kick Alex out until he decides he wants to be done, but we want you to be the next host.
Because I can't remember, he's the longest running or a highest win?
Longest running.
Okay.
Because I think Brad Rutter had won the most money because he won a bunch of the tournaments. I think that James dude earlier, like last year, fell like 3 games short of passing Ken Jennings for the most days on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Did Jennings win that tournament too?
Yeah, so that might have actually put Ken Jennings back over the top for the most money.
Hasn't it been like 20 years since his initial run?
It's been a while.
That was like early mid-2000s, I feel.
Yeah.
It's been at least 10. I remember it being a big deal in my memory. So
I think we were in high school.
Yeah, 10 to 15.
I'm actually trying to look it up real quick. In 2004, Jennings won. Yeah, so it was the year we graduated. So just over 15 years. But I know I did see something at one point where, I guess Alex had an interview where he actually thought that the next host would be like a female.
Possibly. Although, I mean, who knows? My gut is that it's going to be Ken Jennings, but it could not.
It would make sense for it to be Ken Jennings. But yeah, like you said, Drew, it's just completely up in the air. It could be anybody.
Yeah,
it could be Drew Carey for all we know.
Oh God, that'd be weird. Because doesn't he? Doesn't he? Does he actually have like a personality that like a game show host needs to have? Cause like
Ken Jennings?
Yeah, because like Trebek was very like he was proper, but he also was like warm and inviting. If that makes sense.
No, Ken Jennings is pretty good.
Okay.
Like I've heard him on a lot of other media stuff other than just being on Jeopardy, and like he's pretty funny. He's got a solid sense of humor to him. Like he would be a good host.
So, I just noticed this on his Wikipedia page actually. He is currently the all-time game show winnings leader with over $5 million. He's the Jeopardy the greatest of all time champion. Holder of the longest Jeopardy winning streak at 74 games. And he is second place for the highest earnings contestant on Jeopardy at $4 million. So he won like another $1 million on another show.
Damn.
It looks like it may have been Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Makes sense.
Yeah. In 2008. So 4 years after his Jeopardy run.
Nice.
Oh, wow. And he also came in second place to the Watson supercomputer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he was second of 3.
So
it was a tournament of Watson, him, and someone else.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't come in third.
I'm pretty sure it was Brad, the other guy who was in the greatest of all time thing.
Yeah.
So and Drew, you'll probably know this. Prior to like a certain point, it might have been actually when Jennings had his streak. There was a limit, right? Couldn't you only win like a week or something like that?
Yep. Yeah, it was a 5-day limit, and then like I'm pretty sure Ken Jennings was the year they got rid of the limit, and just boom, oops, there you go. Here's this person just dominates the show for 2.5 months.
That's got to be crazy because you figure if they film 5-ish episodes a day,
make that like 3 months. But
yeah, but like you figure at like 5-ish episodes a day at that point, especially because Alex was in good health still.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like he filmed those episodes in the span of a couple of weeks, and then had to sit on it for almost 3 months. Or actually over 3 months when you factor in weekends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Jeopardy airs Monday through Friday, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's insane. To like I know a lot of game shows are like that. Like all those like Survivors and shit like that. Like those contestants get like sent to like a private island resort for the remainder of the contest, just so they don't go blabbing anything. But like I don't know, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a week is one thing. Like that literally you're there for one day. Like, you go in, you film your 5 episodes, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least depending on how it falls, obviously. Yeah. Sad times.
Definitely.
In brighter news, the election is kind of sort of over. The Trump lost. He won't admit he lost, but he lost.
He's being a complete baby about this.
Yep, I mean, this isn't normally something we would get into, but I made this analogy to Erica, and then I started seeing it all over the internet. Him losing on like it was announced on Saturday that Joe Biden was president-elect. He won. He was declared winner of Pennsylvania. That put him over 270. If Trump won every other state that hadn't been called yet, he still wouldn't have come close enough to win.
Yeah.
Like it was like the end of the special edition of Return of the Jedi. Like, all around the country, people were dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
Like, if there had been a statue of Trump, that would have been the time that somebody would have toppled it over as people were dancing and singing.
You know, he was president for 4 years. I'm surprised he didn't erect a statue.
Same. I mean, honestly, just, even without the presidency, I'm surprised he didn't have one in front of one of his shitty hotels.
Yeah.
But
you know, my favorite meme I've been seeing of these are it's like Trump Tower, and it has a banner over the Trump, and it says Spirit Halloween.
I saw that one.
I mean, my favorite thing by far is that they booked the wrong 4 seasons.
Oh man,
I don't know what the fuck was up with that, but it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And like I thought it was a joke at first, and then I saw the screenshots where it was actually Rudy Giuliani, and I'm just like, oh god, this is real. And then I saw somebody tweet out that it was next to a dildo shop and a crematorium, and I'm like, no, that's gotta be a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking lo and behold, if you go to Street View, right across the street is the Delaware Valley Cremation Center, and one building down from them on the same side of the street is Fantasy Island, adult book and novelty shop.
And these people want you to believe that there was voter fraud.
Yeah.
They
neither of you guys ever
book the right place.
Yeah, I know I talked about it a few times. Neither of you guys have ever watched Veep, right?
No.
So that whole thing is 1,000,000% the sort of thing that would have happened in that show. Like, somebody even actually posted like a picture of like one of the kind of like morons on that show, and with the caption like, "What do you mean it's a hotel?" Because like he was the idiot on that show that would book a place like that. Not like he would book a Staples office supply when he was supposed to be booking the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Which I feel like that is where they'll actually have the concession speech.
A Staples?
Yeah. He'll try and book out the Staples Center and fuck it up again.
Yeah.
And like, so apparently like that landscaping place are Trump supporters. That's obviously why they allowed it to happen. But like if they're his supporters, why wouldn't somebody say something?
Good business.
But like, you wouldn't be like, are you sure? We're a little landscaping company in Northeast Philly.
We're a fucking shit-ass parking lot, like...
And, like, they tried real hard. They put all those stickers up. They gave them a little podium. Like...
But like,
man.
Here's the thing. Like, I would probably never use that company. But all the Trump supporters see that they let them do that to fight for Trump. I'm gonna hire them now. If they called me up and was like, we need to have a report about 911. Can we do it at your location? Yeah, sure. And show off, if I had a business here, yeah, sure. And I'd show off my business at 911 because that's my address. Like, yeah, I completely understand why they would do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do get that too, but I don't know, if you're supporting somebody, you don't want them to look like an asshole. And like, that makes them look fucking stupid.
And they're also going to piss off an even larger number of potential customers by showing the Trump. Yeah, especially in this area.
Like in Philadelphia, where like the reason Trump lost Pennsylvania was because of the greater Philadelphia area. You know, where all the people live.
Unless they don't actually support Trump and just wanted to make them look like fools.
No, like people have been online like clarifying that like they are Trump supporters because apparently like that company is now trying to sell merchandise.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, don't support them. They actually support this guy. Buy the knockoff stuff that people are selling that's going to charity.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like, and you knew it's a fuck up because Trump's original tweet is just the 4 seasons in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then he deleted it and retweeted it with 4 seasons total landscaping. God.
I don't know. I'm just
like,
so...
There is not a comedy writer in the world that could have fucking predicted that one.
No. Wait, I'll have to watch some Simpsons and see if maybe they have called that something like that. But probably not, no.
But yeah, so now we're just in this awkward spin where Biden is president-elect. The Trump campaign is doing everything they possibly can to say he's not. But like...
Yeah.
I had like the news on a whole bunch, and like MSNBC is very like left leaning, like, but like even when they're talking like very like bipartisan, it's like the last time there were vote recounts, there were 1,100 or something like that, like uncertain ballots that like were changed. Like Trump is losing by tens of thousands in the states that matter.
Yeah.
Like. There's no way. Like Georgia, I don't know if you guys saw, Georgia is going to hand count the ballots for their recount.
Are they really?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's I haven't paid attention since Saturday. Did Georgia like call that Biden won or that they?
So the way that works is like the states aren't necessarily calling it right now from what the news channels are reporting. It's the news. All your news outlets have. Like, basically, like, an election desk, where, like, those people are not allowed to look at anything other than the raw data. Like, they can't look at the other networks, they can't listen to their own, like, network broadcasts. They're just looking at the numbers being sent to them directly from the states. And they're the ones that are kind of, like, figuring out, like, okay, well, if there's 1,100 ballots left, and this person is up 2,000 ballots, there's no way this other person can win. It's this person's race.
Well, then, I mean... Have news stations called Georgia for Biden yet? Or
I believe North Carolina, Georgia, Alaska, and Arizona, Nevada are all still open. I might have Nevada and Arizona swapped, because I know some networks gave one, others didn't give them at all.
Yes. So, like, Fox News called Arizona for Biden on, like, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched
nowhere
ABC.
else really has.
I watched ABC and they weren't calling. They were waiting as long as possible and kind of waiting for somebody else to call any of the other states.
A lot of them were doing that. Like, they were being very cautious with making calls, especially on those final states that were actually, like, a battleground state.
Yeah.
Look, Alaska didn't matter. It was 3 electoral votes.
No, literally, ABC said, Alaska's going to Trump. If there was 50% of the vote count, Biden could come back, but Alaska's going to Trump. Let's just do that now.
Yeah.
And they did not care about Alaska.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you factor in all the other states that were actually up, like, those 3 electoral votes weren't going to make a difference for anybody.
No, not at all.
But I know, the dude that, like, the political analyst guy that does, like, the map for MSNBC, like, and I know, like, CNN was doing it too, like, was breaking everything down, like, very granular, and he's like, here's the numbers. Like, the numbers don't lie. If there's this many and this many, that's math.
Yeah, they were doing that in on ABC as
well. Yeah, it's insane that so the other thing that I saw them point out on somewhere was, so the 2000 election, Clinton, also, like, Al Gore in the 2000 election was already vice president, so he was already privy to, like, daily briefs and everything like that. Clinton invited Bush to get those as well because they didn't know who the winner was going to be. So, they didn't want to leave either of the potential winners, like, unsure. But because it was such a late declaration, by the time Bush was actually officially declared president-elect, he did not have, like, a proper, like, cabinet set by the time, like, he really, like, rolled into office. And a lot of analysts actually, like, label that as one of the biggest, like, national security flaws when they're talking about 9/11. And now we have a president who's just straight refusing to do anything. Like, not giving... And he also has all of the national, like top secret information of his own, which he's the piece of shit that would then turn around and sell that to other countries for favors.
He's been firing a lot of his chief of staff right now. Like,
well, he's been firing top officials at the Pentagon and replacing them with supporters. Yeah. Like, a lot of, like, not necessarily, like, news outlets, but, like, people on, like, Facebook are being like, is he trying to, like, stage a coup?
He is.
That's sure what it looks like.
He's absolutely trying to stage a coup. He has said before the election that if he loses, he is claiming squatters' rights in the White House. He has also stated, what do you think's going to happen 3 weeks into his presidency when Biden gets assassinated? So he's, number one, he's going to jail as soon as he's out of the White House. He has got so many, there's going to be so much litigation against him and so many criminal lawsuits against him that he's going to jail.
I mean, the problem is, though, he's a billionaire. Like, he won't go to jail. If anything, he'll leave the country.
Is he, though? Like,
I mean, technically, yes. He did not give up any of his company assets when he took the presidency.
I know that. Which he was supposed to. He was supposed to have cut ties and not make money from any of his business during his presidency. But, like, I don't know, the way he acts kind of like he's gonna be in some big trouble which he will be, and it's just, I don't know. Apparently, Putin. Other good news. Apparently, Putin's stepping down now too, from what I heard.
So I saw somebody say something about that, but, like, that's not on any of the news outlets. So, like, I don't know if that's just people being like, well, I hope he steps down now.
Yeah, unless he's, or that might have been a joke.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen some places report the Putin thing, but other places are shooting it down. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's all kind of crazy. And frankly, even if Trump did try to stage a coup, like, this is not a country where the president actually has an army at his back. All of our armed forces branches have allegiance to the country, not to the person in the Oval Office. Like, if the president tells them to take control of something that is part of the U.S. government, they're not going to do it. Like, most of the top-ranking officials in the armed forces have already publicly congratulated Biden and Harris.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of, like, their political leanings, that's just not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the best thing Trump could hope for is his, like, fucking redneck piece of shit militia showing up, which will then get trounced by the actual military.
Maybe they'll actually be looked at as an actual terrorist organization that actually needs to have something done about themselves.
I mean, probably not, because that's just how this country is, unfortunately. But we can hope. But we are not a political podcast, and I don't know that any of us are necessarily smart enough to even be on a political podcast.
Drew.
I was gonna say maybe Drew.
I mean, I would not claim myself, at least not politically, give myself the credit to be on a political cast.
Yeah, you know a lot of just bullshit information.
I agree with that.
Like, I know a lot of bullshit information, but, like, you know a lot of bullshit information. So Rich.
Yes.
This one's gonna interest you. I don't know if you read ahead or not. Critical Role is going to be releasing some more graphic novels. In summer of next year, 2021, they're going to release the Mighty Nine Origins stories.
Yeah, I saw somebody from Critical Role, or it might have been Critical Role themselves, either on Instagram or Twitter, tweet out this image with Jester's cover page.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be at least right now, it's 2 books. The first one's coming out on June 16th, and it's going to be the origin of Jester, who is the character played by Laura Bailey.
Yeah.
It's going to be written by Sam Maggs, with art by Hunter Severn-Bonian. I may have said all that wrong. Who he apparently did the artwork on the previous Critical Role graphic novels.
Which it's good artwork. I really like the artwork that they use for these comics and novels.
And then the colors are going to be Kathy Lee. And then Volume 2 is going to follow Caleb, which is Liam O'Brien's character. And that's going to be written by Jody Hauser, with art by Selena Espiritu, and colors by Diana Sozu. So, graphic novels, I figure they're going to be anywhere from 80 to 120-ish pages.
Yeah.
And then, for both books, the actors that play those characters, as well as DM Matthew Mercer, are going to be like co-directors. So they're going to be involved in like fleshing out the story and kind of like making sure the characters' voices are right and that the overall narrative fits the world that they are playing in.
Yeah, well, they're graphic novels, and not voices, but
no, I didn't mean voices.
Dialogue.
I didn't mean voices as in like like actual voices. I meant like their characters' voices, like how they are portrayed in the work of fiction.
Yeah, but this is pretty cool. I do enjoy that, or I do like that they're going to do this. It makes sense, especially since they're now over 100 episodes into Campaign 2, for any new watchers who want to understand the backstory of the characters. Like, there are jump-on points, and they just got to a decent jumping-on point that, like, if they want to know the backstory, they can now read these to find out how these characters got to joining the group. It's a decent idea. I've been wanting them to do what they did with Campaign 1, where they introed every episode for the first, 20 or 30 episodes with their own homemade intro stories. And, they VO'd over, basically explaining from 0 to, level 1 and joining the group and things like that. So, I'm happy that they're doing something like this. Because especially with, Caleb's backstory, there's a lot that happened that, they haven't really fleshed out. And Jester's, there is something that kind of happened that they didn't fully flesh out, but have explained. So it's pretty neat.
So I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, when you say good jumping on points, do they actually, specify that? Or is it just one of those, you just kind of have to know?
It's kind of one of those, you kind of just have to know. If you jump into the community and you're trying to, some people say, I want to start watching Critical Role, where should I start? And a lot of people will just be start just with Campaign 2 and watch Campaign 1 later. But I might turn around and be alright, well, maybe get into, it would be probably around episode 100, and start watching from there when they get to the island that they were on, because that's, a nice point to jump on. You kind of get, some information for them, but you get to start to learn the characters, and then if you're really that interested, you can go from the beginning of the campaign. But, they do kind of break it down by arc after the arc ends and the new arc begins. And so, like, right now they're in, like, I think they're calling it the chase, where they're going after a previously known character. And, like, it wouldn't be a good time to jump into this now, because you wouldn't understand the connection between them and the character. But if you jump back a couple, like, maybe 20 episodes to episode 100, it's not even 20 at this point, I don't think. I think it's, like, 13. So if you jump back, like, 13 episodes, maybe, like, 15 episodes, you might be at a good point to where you can jump in, get what goes on that story, learn about the characters enough to be able to catch up and watch live.
Okay.
Yeah. It's because it's daunting to watch that much. 113 episodes right now, I believe they're at for campaign 2. And each of them are on average 3 hours. So it is very daunting to watch.
Yeah, no, that is a lot to try and catch up with. So the other question I had, I watched maybe the first 6 to 10 episodes of this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at that point, like, they really hadn't explained anything about the characters. Like, it was still basically, like, early on of them just kind of, like, forming their group. Like, I don't even think they had named themselves at that point.
Yeah.
So throughout, like, the rest of the campaign, like up to, like, where they're at now, do they actually start fleshing out the backstories of these characters already?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. They flesh out the backstories. They actually have, quest lines and things like that dive into their backstories. They do, like, talk about their backstories, and, like, Mercer uses that to push the players forward. And not just, like, for instance, the campaign me and Drew are in with Eric. Our backstories have not come into play. I had this pretty cool backstory. It's never even come into play.
After,
it's
like,
just
12 years.
Exactly. But the campaign that I run with Drew, like, we just went into a character's backstory. And we're just getting done that arc. And then there's little hints here and there. And you drop the breadcrumbs and they have to pick them up and follow them if they choose so. That's more so what Mercer does, is he'll drop the breadcrumbs for the characters to go towards something involving their backstory, and then as the characters develop and form a connection with everyone, they start to explain what happened in their past, or they start to give some information. For instance, with Caleb, you don't find out that, like, he killed his parents on the command of somebody else, until, like, 30 episodes in, and the
spoilers, thanks.
You're not gonna watch it. Or if you do and you jump on, you're gonna already have known about it. So, it's not fully spoilers. But, if you read these comics, like, it'll talk about him joining the Sorceress Academy.
Well, maybe, we don't know.
It's probably what it's gonna be. It's gonna be, like, his from childhood, or from the point that is important to the story and his character, to the time that he joins up with Nod. It's probably gonna be what this follows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So, as you guys are well aware, it's new console time.
Yes.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 should arrive tomorrow.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this or not. Both consoles, so the Xboxes are already out in the wild. But both consoles last week, before they were out, had their, like, official out-of-the-box drive capacities confirmed. And, like, it's not awesome.
No.
So the PS5, out of the box, is only going to have 667 gigs of usable storage out of the 825 gigs that, like the raw drive. So that means, like, the operating system alone is close to 200 gigs, which seems excessive. I'm pretty sure. So I have I have a 1 terabyte model PS4, and I'm pretty sure formatted that thing's close to 800, maybe even a little bit more than that. So, like, Rich, and actually Drew too, I think you guys both still have launch PS4s, right? Or close to launch PS4s?
Yeah, but I have a terabyte hard drive in there.
Oh, you upgraded your hard drive.
My hard drive crashed.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how much stuff you particularly have on your PS5, but you might not be able to transfer everything if you planned on it.
I mean, I'm hoping I can just back up all my cloud saves and then pull them from the cloud on my PS5 with whatever I decide to use.
So you'll be able to do that. Both consoles actually offer a local network transfer, though, so you don't have to download everything and wait 6 weeks,
mm-hmm.
including games. So, like, you're still going to play Avengers, right?
Yeah.
So rather than having to re-download however big Avengers is on the shitty PSN during the launch week, you can either transfer it over wireless or you can actually plug a Ethernet cable from your PS4 to your PS5 and let it transfer that way and get it moved over much quicker.
I have heard reports that PSN downloads are incredibly faster than they have been.
I have seen that too, whereas the Xbox has been the opposite. But the Xbox also allowed for the, just literally moving stuff from another system as long as that system was, on. It was super easy to do. And it sounds like the PS5 is also super easy to do.
Do you know if, with that, it removes it from the PS4, or is it just making a copy?
I think it's just making a copy.
Okay.
I have not looked at my Xbox One to know if it removed anything from there, but I don't think it did.
Yeah. I personally am not too worried about doing that because I have limited plug space, so I'm just going to back up my saves and then just download whatever I choose to download because I still have to work tomorrow, and I still have to work Friday, I can just do that while downloading whatever games that I want to download.
When you say plug, are you meaning power outlets? Yeah,
literal power outlet space. In my power strip that my PS5 will be plugged into only has the space that I will be unplugging my PS4 to plug in my...
So, just to save, the time, you don't need to actually... So, actually, I don't know this for sure on the PS5. On the Xbox, I didn't need to see my Xbox One at all. It just had to be on. So, I actually just moved it and plugged it in elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So, literally, it wasn't plugged into a TV or anything. It was just plugged into power. And I just used the button on it to turn it on and off.
I could definitely try that. I just, I don't know if I've ever set up my PS5 onto my network, or my PS4 onto my network. It's always been plugged in.
Oh, you have it wired.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that tonight, though. You could connect it to the Wi-Fi. It would take you 5 seconds. And at least this way... does Verizon have data caps?
No, I don't think so.
So, that's good. And
if they do, I've never reached it.
And you do have Verizon, so, you have better download speeds, but, it's easier to transfer that stuff locally if you can. And it actually takes less effort because the PlayStation store is kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Just for only for those games that you're going to keep playing, like Avengers or Monster Hunter maybe.
Yeah. I'm actually hoping that I can use the Monster Hunter for the PlayStation 4 Classics as my Monster Hunter, so I no longer need the fucking disc.
Oh, that's right, you had the physical version of it.
I'm hoping that works because I have the digital Monster Hunter World, or Monster Hunter Iceborne, but I have the physical Monster Hunter, which has been the only game that's been sitting in my PlayStation 5 since I've gotten it.
So I'm just not sure about this. So Iceborne is actually an expansion, right? So you need to have your Monster Hunter World disc in to play Iceborne content?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That makes sense.
I've never tried it, so I don't know. But as far as I know, yes, it's an expansion, so I need my disc in order to play Iceborne.
Okay. But yeah, so as far as the PS5 storage goes, at 667 gigs, it was already confirmed today I heard it today on Giant Bombcast. Black Ops Cold War is over 200 gigs on the PS5. So that's a third, just about, of the usable storage. And it sounds like a lot of cross-gen games are significantly larger because they can't take advantage of the solid-state drive as far as, not having to duplicate files. So they have all these duplicated files, but all of these files are also high-res, so they're much larger, which then doubles the size of the game. So that's going to be rough if... To go along with this, I forgot to add it to the thing. Sony also confirmed that you can't use expandable storage for PS5 games right now. So you can't plug a USB drive in. You can't even move PS5 games to an external drive. And you can't, they don't have any verified NVMe drives yet that you can install to expand the storage. Those probably won't be confirmed for a month or two. Mm-hmm. So people are going to have to roll with the limited storage that's on there with the size of some of these PS5 games.
Yeah.
PlayStation isn't the only one that has severe drops in their storage though. The Xbox is a terabyte. I'm sorry, the Xbox Series X is a terabyte drive. with 802 gigs of usable storage.
What if the Series X was a 2 terabyte drive, but a 1 terabyte operating system?
I mean, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, excuse me, like, Windows isn't that big of an operating system. Like, what the fuck is Microsoft doing that, like, their big thing is operating systems? Why is their console so big?
Yeah, why is it a 198 gigabyte, like, operating system, basically, on their Series X?
Also, the fucking Series X OS, or at least, like, the user interface, is the exact same thing as the Xbox One. Like,
is it?
Like, so the current Xbox One interface and the Series X interface are exactly the same. There are no differences. The only thing that might be a difference, and I've just never checked it on the Xbox One, is there's a sort by console category for, like, game libraries, whether you're looking at Game Pass or whatever, where it will split them up between, like, Series X games, Xbox One games, and Xbox 360 games.
So the Xbox One had a 138 gig operating system.
Meanwhile, the Series X is almost 200 gigs.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that far. It's 60 gigs higher. It's not that far off, but the Xbox One even had a giant operating system.
Yeah. And so it's a little bit worse for the Series S, which is, remember, digital only. Every game is strictly digital.
Yeah.
It's only got 364 gigs of usable space out of its 500 gig hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I can't remember. Is the Series S expandable hard drive?
I think
it has
both of
the
them
same
can take
port.
it.
Yeah.
But at that point, if you're going to spend an extra $200 on a hard drive, spend the extra $200 and just get the Series X.
Yeah, seriously.
Right? Like, at least that point, like, you're getting extra storage and you're also getting a
more
4K.
powerful.
Yeah, I mean, more powerful, but I was also going to say, like, a 4K Blu-ray drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those things are still kind of expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, while the hard drives are very quick and nice, like, they are definitely not optimized as far as, like, their OS goes.
I'm excited to try out, like, some, like, Monster Hunter and Avengers. More so Monster Hunter, because load times were sometimes pretty insufferable with the late game content that, like, I can't wait to see how much quicker I can get into games that might be able to push me into playing it more again.
Yeah.
Because that was part of the reason why I stopped playing it, is, like, in order to get into what I needed to do, the load time would be, like, a minute, 2 minutes to load into it. But, like, yeah, I would be in there for a long time, but eventually I would have to leave and then load back into that same thing. It's too long of load time, so, like, I'm excited to see this, like, streamline loading and solid state loading. Like, Division takes fucking ever to load. Can't wait to see how quick it loads on the PS5.
Yeah, I know just from, like, seeing a little bit of video and, like, hearing people talk about it, like, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like, Drew, you didn't play 2018 Spider-Man, right?
No.
But Rich, I know you did. So, like, quick travel. You know how there was, like, 15, 20 seconds, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, where, like, Spider-Man was just chilling on the subway?
Yeah.
That's gone in Miles Morales when you quick travel. It just kind of, like, blinks to him walking out of the subway station.
Okay, that's nice.
And there's also apparently scenes where, and the 2018 game did this a little bit, but you could tell that there was, like, a load hidden in there. It was almost like the slow, like, squeeze through, like, hidden load, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, like a character squeezing through a crack that they can't really move fast in so that they can load what's beyond it.
I mean, they would do that with dialogue. Like, they would load up dialogue and have that play so that the game could load whatever's next up, and it's unskippable dialogue, and they wouldn't even show you your next objective till after the dialogue was done.
Yeah, so there are scenes, apparently, in Miles, where, like, you are, like, running through a building, and you dive through a window and just immediately start swinging through the city.
Yeah.
Like, there is no slowdown or obvious hidden load times anywhere. It's like, you're in this closed environment, and then you're suddenly in New York City swinging around.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I might actually get Miles Morales a lot sooner than I was thinking.
Apparently it's really good. Like, it's getting really good reviews. Not that you listen to this stuff, but I know Drew does. Jeff Gerstmann at Giant Bomb did not care for the 2018 Spider-Man. He didn't even finish it. Liked miles enough that he's now going to go play the 2018 game again.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll get in some real quick personal side bullshit, and then we can move on. Because I am doing this whole job transition and everything, the company that I was being basically let go from because they were shutting down told us that they were going to pay us out for the PTO time that we had left, that we had accrued. They ended up only paying me for 3 days when I had 12.
I remember you talked about this a little bit last week. I don't know if we were recording, but like we talked about it a little bit last week.
So that's one of the main reasons why I was like, I don't really know how many games I'm going to get because I didn't get as much money as I was expecting. I called them out on their bullshit, and then they're paying everyone out the time that they didn't pay them out for.
Oh, nice.
For instance,
congratulations.
Yeah, I'm getting 5.5 more days next week. So I'm probably going to get Miles Morales because I've got that extra money now.
So what game were you getting? You were getting Demon Souls? Right?
I'm definitely getting Demon Souls, and I will get that on tomorrow. I'll buy it. I'll set up my PlayStation as soon as I get it and start downloading it. I'm hoping I get it while I'm still working.
So that you can kind of like plug it in and let it go?
Yeah, plug it in, let it do its day one updates, download the game, let that do its day one updates.
Do you know when FedEx usually comes through your neighborhood?
I see the FedEx truck coming through constantly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had something delivered by Amazon, but it was delivered by Amazon, but that was like between 1 and 4. They sent it, got here right at 1. But I saw like 3 FedEx trucks go by today.
Okay, yeah, because like in my neighborhood, they're pretty. FedEx is a little looser, but like UPS is pretty much the same time every day. Like my Xbox arrived yesterday at like, oh god, I don't even remember what time that was now. It was around lunchtime. But like, here, this is good for you. You guys will enjoy this. It just goes to show how shitty UPS is, and that's saying something. I guess they don't have enough trucks right now or something, because they have people just delivering shit in their cars. In a car. It was like a hatchback. So the dogs start growling and barking. I'm expecting the PlayStation. So like I go over and I'm looking out the window, and I see the dude in UPS gear in this like hatchback. He's walking to my neighbors next door that have like the other white picket fence, with a package for them. I watch him open the door and just throw the package inside.
Jesus Christ.
I'm assuming it was something light, but still, like, that's super shitty. And then he walks back over to the car, pulls out a large box, nearly drops it twice. Like, ends up like fumbling it and like, kind of like pinning it against the car. Because he was like, it was my box. It wasn't that fucking heavy. But he tried to put it on his shoulder and fucking missed like an asshole. And then proceeded to take it to the wrong house.
Yeah, my neighbors have been getting a lot of issues with things delivering to the wrong house lately. And I think they're like UPS and FedEx deliveries.
Yeah. FedEx is usually good for us. Amazon's good. USPS is good. UPS just fucking sucks. Like, so my address is 309. They took it to 303. Those numbers do not look that similar.
Well, what you do, what the address actually is you subtract 1 and then cut that in half.
Like,
and
apparently.
That's how you get where you deliver it to.
But so the only reason I knew for sure it was mine was 15 minutes later, I got the notification from Amazon that it was delivered. And the notification, like, confirmation thing on there said, left by the front door. So, like, I looked, there was no box, so I'm just like, well, that was mine. I walked to my neighbor's 4 fucking houses down, and looked at the label, and it was mine.
That's nuts that they didn't require a signature for that.
Nope.
Like, that's a $500 piece of equipment that they didn't require a signature. The PlayStation 5 requires a signature.
So, it was from Amazon. Nothing from Amazon requires a signature.
Oh, it was Amazon, okay.
Yeah, but still,
I get that.
I get very few things delivered by UPS. Usually Amazon, because it's 2-day shipping, it's usually them delivering it. And, like, everything else I get is either FedEx or USPS for the most part. But yeah, like, fucking UPS is just the fucking worst.
So my PlayStation right now is currently in the sorting center at Linwood P.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so probably won't get it till at least lunchtime tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll probably have it on a truck to Lawnside overnight, and then it'll be out on a truck tomorrow morning. Yeah. Because my Xbox didn't get to the Lawnside sorting facility until like 4 o'clock yesterday morning. Or, yesterday morning. I I had the confirmation that it was loaded onto the truck at like 4:30.
Yeah.
But then it didn't go out for delivery until almost 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That
so
all
now,
lines up.
Now that you have your Xbox, what do you like about it? Tell us about it.
It's pretty cool. Since I have no hopes of seeing a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. Since they're only doing online orders and those are going to get snatched up by scalpers with bots right away. I kept my Xbox pre-order. So, got that yesterday, got it all set up. Didn't play it yesterday. By the time everything was set up and everything was transferred over and all, it was like dinner time. The setup was super easy though, and actually kind of cool. You can do it all from your cell phone.
Okay.
So, as soon as you plug it in and turn it on, you get like a notification that basically tells you like, hey, if you have the Xbox app, open it up and set up a new console. You can do it all from there rather than doing it like with your controller on the TV. Which is great because typing stuff on the fucking controller sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that and it was great. Like it asked me if I wanted, so it connects with its own internal wireless to your phone first, since the console's not on any network yet. Has you connect it to your wireless network unless you have it hardwired in. And then it asks you like, hey, do you want to copy over your settings from your Xbox One? We have a backup and it shows you like whatever date the last Xbox backup was. So I'm like, fucking sure, go for it. Copies all of your profile information over, asks you if you want like what security settings you want and everything like that. Has you I'm already signed into my Xbox account on the app, so I don't have to sign back into it. It just knows and like sets it all up on the console. And then once that's all set up from the console, I was able to just go in and there's the transfer option, and you go to that and it shows other consoles like on the network, and you pick that console, it loads all of the content that's on it, and you can pick what you want to copy over. And I didn't copy everything I had on my other Xbox because there's certain things that I had an uninstalled Monster Hunter or Elder Scrolls Online. So like I'm not playing those again, so I didn't copy their 50, 60 gig game files over. Like that would be silly.
Makes sense.
Honestly, a lot of the games I had on my Xbox One were smaller, so most of them actually copied over very quickly. The one that took the longest was fucking Halo Master Chief Collection, because it was 104 gigs.
Yeah, I mean, that's three games? 4 games?
It might be up to 5 now.
Is Halo 5 on there as well?
Well, it's Halo 1 through 4, plus I think ODST and Reach are on there. So it might be 6.
Oh, that's right, they did add that. I didn't think they did, because they're technically not Master Chief.
Yeah, it's definitely 1 through 4, and I know Reach was on there, because I saw it today, and I'm pretty sure ODST is too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that game is large for a reason. It's a lot of games. 2 of the games are the remasters and everything, so, but yeah, that took quite a while. But like the PlayStation app, Xbox has the remote play thing, where, like, I could just pull out my phone, open up the app. First off, I can actually just see what games are installed from the app, and then I was able to remote into the console while it was copying to see what the status was, without having to constantly, like, change the input on the TV and everything like that.
Neat.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So Halo didn't finish copying until like 8:30 last night. Everything else was done by like dinner time though. And that's including like the console update, the controller update, like all those little things. And then I also downloaded Tetris Effect Connect, because that is an Xbox Game Pass game now.
Okay.
And then today I picked up Yakuza Like a Dragon. I bought the physical edition of it because I had a coupon at Best Buy, so it was $10 cheaper.
Nice.
Yeah, much like last gen, those games are basically empty discs that you have to download fucking everything. I think the disc had less than 20 gigs on it, and I had to download over 40. And right now, like, the Xbox network was not, like, I've seen other people online, like, their network's struggling right now with all the people, like, downloading shit. I normally get pretty good speeds on Xbox. Like, it does not usually take me that long to download games. It probably took close to 3-ish hours for those 40 gigs to download.
Okay.
I was getting, like, 17 to 30 megabits per second, which is, like, my download is 300-ish. So, like, not great speeds. Not great speeds at all.
No.
But I did play a bunch of Tetris Effect. That game is super fucking cool. I see why so many outlets were, like, talking it up. I still still don't know that I would ever spend $40 on it, because I'm not very good at Tetris.
Yeah.
Like, I like Tetris, but I'm not good at Tetris. Once it gets over, like, 11 speed, I fucking just flounder.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think this game would be fucking cool as shit in VR, like, you can get on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
The music is really cool. All the effects are neat. You can use the analog sticks to actually move like your view of things around. So like you can put yourself at like different skews and stuff like that, or like zoom in and zoom out. The triggers have. I'm honestly not sure what this is, but it sort of like slows everything down for a little while if you hit the trigger. I'm not sure how often you can do it because I keep forgetting that I have it. It's got like that. I honestly don't know how long this has been in a Tetris game either, but it's got the store a block thing. Either the bumpers will like take your current block and like put it off to the side, and you can.
That's like commonplace in every Tetris now.
Dude, I haven't played an actual Tetris game since Tetris DS. If you don't count 99.
It was definitely in Tetris DS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't saying that because I played Tetris DS. It was just it's been that long. Like when did that game come out? Like 2004.
Oh, when did we do Katsukan?
Between 05 and 09, and it was a DS game, so it was 05 or 06 is when that game had to have come out.
Yeah.
And I haven't played it since then. But yeah, it's got that. It's all your rotations and stuff. It's like level based. So like you go in and you pick like the first level in like a chain of them, and there's like 5 courses to get through.
Okay.
And every course you have to make at least 36 lines to like move on to the next one. And the speed actually is variable. So the further you get into the game, like the higher the speed starts at. But it will go up and down based on the music, which is kind of cool. So like if a song starts getting really fast, your speed is actually going to go up and your blocks are going to start falling quicker. So like I had one level where it was like up to like 11 or 12 and I was failing miserably. But then all of a sudden the song slowed down and like the pieces slowed down with it. And I was able to like recover and get myself like back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It carries over whatever blocks whatever rows you have into the next level though, until you finish like a chain of them. So if your screen is half full when you hit that 36th line, you're going to start the next level with like your screen half full and have to hope that it's starting you at like a lower speed so that you can fucking fix that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I played a lot more of that than I expected to.
Just FYI, according to the Tetris wiki, a hold piece is a feature of most newer Tetris games starting with the new Tetris. The new Tetris was N64 released on August 2nd, 1999.
Oh, wow.
So it's been active for a long time.
So I've only owned 3 Tetrises. Tetris on the Game Boy, Tetris on the Nintendo, and Tetris DS.
So it was definitely in Tetris DS.
Yeah. But again, like I haven't played Tetris DS since it came out, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drew, I know you actually like and are pretty good at Tetris. If you ever see like a sale that like is worthwhile to you, I would definitely grab Tetris Effect on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I definitely have been like keeping my eye on it, but it like never gets really below like 30. Or at least
yeah, I'd say like 25 or less. It's honestly probably worth pulling the trigger. I think just because you do like Tetris a lot and you're good at it, I think you would actually enjoy it. And I'm playing on normal, and like it gets pretty fucking wild. There is like a harder mode than that also, and some other game modes in there. So like there's definitely some like changes you can make to it.
Oh look, it's $20 right now.
Fucking do it.
Oh wow, I might buy that for my dad.
Does he have a PS4?
He has a PS4. He loves Tetris. Me and Eric have been wanting to buy him Tetris Effect for a long time.
Man, buy him Tetris Effect and then go steal your brother's VR headset and bring it over. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So the only other thing about Tetris is I don't know. Have either of you really seen like video of the game?
I don't actually know that I ever. Oh no, I have. I've seen.
So each level is like a different theme, and the pieces will look different based on the theme. Like they're still the same like Tetramino shapes, but they're not always just blocks. Like some of them are like jagged circles and stuff like that, which depending on like the color scheme of the level, actually makes it kind of challenging to like eyeball these pieces and know like is that one space or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy to like if you have the shadow thing on, like you can tell where your piece is going to fall, obviously. But But like there are times where like I'll be like, okay, I need a 2-piecer over there, and it's like, oh no, shit, that was 3 spaces. Oh fuck, I need something else. So yeah, it's fun though. I like it. And then like I said, I got Yakuza Like a Dragon. I only got to play for about 2 hours because it took so fucking long to install. That game's super cool. I like the Yakuza games. This one is more of an RPG. Which honestly, both of you guys may like it. I'd say like if you ever see it go on like a sale, for PS4 or 5, it's cool. So Yakuza, this is technically Yakuza 7. 1 through 6 followed Kiryu. He, from like Yakuza 0 was in the 80s, and then 1 through 6 were like mid 2000s. After he had been in prison for like 10 years, 15 years, something like that. But like Kiryu was like a high ranking like Yakuza dude, like he was known and feared and like shit like that. This one, you're like a Yakuza grunt for like a smaller family. And I haven't gotten to like the whole thing yet, but I know a similar thing happens where he goes to prison for a long time. So the game actually starts on New Year's Eve 2000, so 2000 into 2001, and at some point it's going to jump me forward to like closer to modern day after he's been in prison for an extended period.
Yeah.
But rather than being a beat 'em up like the other games were, it's a turn-based RPG. And they explain it away in the fucking story. The character you're playing as, Ichiban, he loves Dragon Quest. Like, he basically, his life kind of revolves around morals and lessons he learned through playing Dragon Quest. So in his head, when he's in these street fights with people, while he is actually fighting them, to him, it's just like a strategy, like turn-based RPG. Like, deciding, like, what attacks to make next and who to attack and everything like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and apparently, some of the stuff I read about the game and heard about it before it came out, like, later in the game when you're fighting, like, bosses and stuff like that, they'll, like, take on more, like, not, like, monstrous forms, but, like, they'll look a little more like a monstery, like, RPG boss than just, like, a random thug. But it's all in his head because he's basically fucking out of his mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I thought that was super cool. So yeah, like 2 hours in, it's actually been really cool so far. I'm enjoying it. The turn-based style it kind of reminds me a little bit of Persona, where it's not as menu-driven as like a Final Fantasy is. Every button just kind of has its own designated thing. Like, if you want to attack, if you just want a regular attack, you hit A. If you want to use a skill, you hit Y. If you want to guard, you hit X. And then it's got a feature where if you time it right when you're being attacked and hit B, you can either dodge or just minimize the damage you're taking. So like, if an enemy comes at me with a knife and I hit B at just the right time, I'll like do like a backwards roll and roll away from the attack.
Okay.
If somebody just comes at me with like a hammer or their fists, I time it right, I'll just like put up my arms and take like 1 damage instead of 6 damage.
Yeah.
But either way, like it's a nice way to, especially right now, because at some point apparently I will get like a team, like it'll be very JRPG where like I will control other people too, I believe, or at least other people will fight with me. But right now, I might have to fight 3 or 4 people all by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, and the loading is incredibly fast, like shockingly fast. So those games, and I know this from playing Kiwami, it has like tips on loading screens. And every time this game goes to transition, I see the loading screen for a split second and see like a big block of text on it. But it just flashes on the screen and goes away. I have no fucking clue what they're trying to tell me. And actually, I did play, while I was waiting for that to install, I played Halo for maybe like 20 minutes. That also started incredibly quick. To get to like the choose your game screen in the Master Chief Collection was maybe 5 seconds from like from like a fresh start. And then it took another 5 to load me into the game where I was. Whereas the last time I played that on like the Xbox One probably took like 30 to 40 seconds. Yeah. Like,
it's my lunch breaks. I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell else I'm gonna do during my lunch breaks, because I play Avengers and I time myself enough where doing the 2 daily missions with Avengers is an hour, and then that's it. I'm done. But with a lot of portion of that is load times. I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to save like 15 minutes.
Yeah, like there's actually not enough time to even look at your phone during a lot of this stuff. Same thing with like the quick resume. Like I went from Yakuza back to Tetris and it took less than 10 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, like I didn't have to quit anything. I hit the Xbox button and it shows you like all your recently played games, and I hit Tetris and I wasn't even... So there'd been reports that Xbox had disabled quick resume pre-launch, and they're turning it back on, but it's not like across the board yet. It looks like it might only be on like maybe the Series X enhanced games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hit it and like it showed me like the splash screen for Tetris. It then quickly said quick resume, and I was right back into the game of Tetris that I had left off on.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super cool. Where did that outline go? There it is. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see what you guys have to say about the PlayStation next week. Like I'm gonna try and still grab one because like Walmart announced a whole bunch of times that they're going to have them online for sales.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic about it because Walmart's website is kind of a shit show. But
yeah.
You know, maybe I'll get lucky tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm hoping to try out at least 2 to 3 different games over the next week on there. One of them being Demon's Souls, and 2 of them being the other 2 probably most likely Avengers and maybe Monster Hunter, maybe something else.
I'd say
I might actually
give Monster Hunter a shot just because you know that game has such rough load times and it's such a big game.
Yeah, I might even finally get into playing Resident Evil 7 because I haven't played.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm looking forward to trying out Tony Hawk and seeing if that makes a difference on the restarts.
Oh, that would be a game changer because that's the worst part about that remaster is like it sucks to restart. It takes too long.
It does take too long. It's not insane, but it's not like what Tony Hawk was on like the PS1 and PS2.
Exactly,
it's not
like
instant.
Yeah, it's not 50 seconds, but it's long enough that like you hit restart and you're just kind of like sitting there waiting. It's like, what the fuck, man? I just want to drop back into this and try and fix what I fucked up, especially on the competitions. Because like, if you fuck up on a competition, you generally don't want to keep going because it's like, well, I just fucked that one up. I'm just going to restart and try again. Anyway.
And also, Division 2, its load times are so long.
I remember that being pretty long when I played a little bit of it.
It like, you have to wait at least 4 minutes to get into... It's like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to get into the menu to choose your character, and then another at least 2 to 3 minutes to get into the game itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to jump ahead real quick just because we're talking about all of the console stuff at the moment. The next news thing is Spider-Man, the 2018 version, will be getting an update that's going to allow you to transfer your save to the remaster on PS5. So,
Which is good.
Yeah, if you get Miles Morales and you wanted to spend the extra $20 to get the remaster, but you don't necessarily want to, like, you want to bring your save over, so maybe you can just go right into like a new game plus or something like that. You're going to be able to. The patch is also going to add 3 new suits, which are 3 of the new suits that are going to be in the remaster. It looks like they don't have a date yet, but they're hoping to have it released around Thanksgiving, like obviously, like the U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so
not bad.
Yeah, like that's cool. They heard people upset that they couldn't bring saves over, and they're working on it. That's cool.
Yeah, I if I do get Miles, I think I might just get Miles. I was thinking of getting Spider-Man Remaster, but like I don't need it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, so if you get Miles, you can just pay the $20 later for the remaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, whenever I do get Miles, I'm probably just going to get Miles. And then down the road, I'm sure there will be a sale for the remaster. And I'll pick it up then.
Yeah. That's like, and this is one reason why I'm hesitant on getting any new games with the PlayStation 4 Classics. Like, there's a bunch of games on there I've never played. So, like, kinda, that's why I'm, like, 50-50 on whether or not I'm going to get Miles in general.
So the only argument I would have for that is it's a new console, it's a new generation. PlayStation is really the only one that has new games that are like actually like optimized for it. Mm-hmm. Like fucking go for it. Like so, like the detail and the like the lighting effects and everything from the ray tracing in the new Spider-Man and Miles is fucking insane. Yeah. Like, and you can watch his reflection climb up the window. It's crazy.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2018 was one of the few games that I platinumed. Like, I only platinum games that I really freaking love. Spider-Man 2018 was one of them. So like I really enjoyed it, but yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
or next week, because I'll probably wait to get Miles until next week.
Which makes sense. Like, yeah. So Google is giving away a free Chromecast Ultra and Stadia controller to YouTube Premium subscribers.
I got mine.
Did you?
Yes.
I did as well. So if all you have to do basically is sign up for a Stadia Pro trial. It's a 30-day trial. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket if you're already a YouTube Premium subscriber. And they will then send you an email to claim your free controller and Chromecast. It's a $99 value that they just take the $99 off of it. They actually give you a promo code in case it doesn't just get taken off correctly. And the shipping is free. And mine will be here this week. Like, I actually got a shipping confirmation earlier today.
I think mine will be here mid next week. I did it yesterday.
Yeah. I might check it out, because I know that, like, Stadia Pro, there's, like, 2 free games you can play or something like that on it.
Destiny and something else.
I think they've changed since then, because PUBG is one of them.
Yeah, that's what it is then.
It's just Destiny and PUBG?
Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe I won't try it. But, like, honestly, the Chromecast Ultras are, like, $60. And my Chromecast that I have upstairs is pretty old and doesn't really work great. So, like, I'll totally take a new Chromecast.
Oh yeah, I did this for the Chromecast.
Same.
That is all. I'm hoping maybe there's a way that I can use the controller on my PC, maybe. For like normal PC gaming. I doubt it though.
I know the controller connects to Wi-Fi. That's all I know about it. This kind of feels like a little bit of a desperate move though, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It definitely is.
It's like, Google's like, well, no one wants to play our shit. Maybe if we give it away for free, they'll play shit on here.
Okay, so right now, I just looked it up. Stadia Pro games, Sniper Elite 4, Risk of Rain, Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, PUBG, Hitman the Complete First Season, and Dead by Daylight.
Okay, so I might play Sniper Elite 4 a little bit. That game's pretty fucking cool.
I might try Dead by Daylight, because that's like a community-driven game too, so it's going to be interesting to see. I think that's what Dead by Daylight is. Yeah, so it's gonna. I do want to see how that's gonna run with playing with other people.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, like, I don't know, the fact that Google is not known for letting things grow on their own. They either do well or they kill them.
Oh, and then they even kill things that grew fine. Fuck you, Google, for getting rid of Google Music.
Yeah, I do not like YouTube Music.
No, YouTube Music is garbage. It's absolute garbage, because it's not music. It's the fucking music videos.
No, it's not.
No, it is the music videos. You just don't have to watch the videos.
I've literally got my entire library from Google Music in there.
I have my entire library from Google Music on there, but, like, I've listened to songs from Google Music on YouTube Music, and it's had, like, the video background and stuff like that going. Like,
YouTube Music had that too, though. Or not, I'm sorry, Google Music had that also.
No, like, I just... There's also... It's so shitty with the... There's no radio feature.
Oh, see, I've never actually used that before. I didn't notice that. The shuffle feature is broken, though. Like, I make playlists of, like, a lot of songs, and I shuffle it. But, like, occasionally, like, I will want to listen to a particular song. So, like, I will do that, like, play next thing, and it, like, under normal circle, like, on Google Music, it used to just drop it up under the currently playing song. It does that, but then it turns off shuffle.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not what I wanted. Like, why? And sometimes you hit shuffle, and it doesn't load the full playlist. It shuffles, like, 20 songs out of, like, 150.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking bullshit.
I tried doing, I wanted to listen to ska. There's no ska feature in that at all. So I went to, like, Real Big Fish, I think. I can't remember what band, and clicked just the radio feature for them. Every fourth song was Real Big Fish. And then every fourth song after that was Suburban Legends. And then every fourth song after that was, like, Of Monsters and Men, and 21 Pilots, and fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers, and AC/DC. I'm like, what? And then every fourth song after that was, like, a YouTube, like somebody I follow on YouTube, who does, like, rock covers and not ska covers. And I'm like, this is fucking garbage. I hate it.
Yeah, really, it's a bad app. And it's one of those, I have all the music that I've like, ripped and downloaded and stuff over the last 20 years on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't like Spotify. Like, I don't like Spotify's interface at all. And I don't want to, and I also really like not having ads on YouTube, because every once in a while I will get YouTube in like a tab, like in a incognito tab, or from like another app where like an ad plays and I'm like, oh nope, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But like, it's basically, that YouTube Music app is basically unfucking usable.
Mm-hmm. And luckily, Google Music is still running, but they killed it as of like mid-October.
Yep.
Or no, early November, and they're not going to support it anymore, and they keep pushing people to move over to YouTube.
Yeah, it's not great. But as far as Stadia is concerned, like, the people that use it seem to like it. Like, I see people in different Facebook groups talk about it, and they like it. But, like, I'm not willing to spend $60 on a game that YouTube or that Google's eventually just going to delete everything, and I'm not going to have access to that game anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like
yeah.
I have more faith in Nintendo than I do Google at this point when it comes to this. Like, I've got so many digital games on my Switch that, like, I mean, they're staying on my Switch and on my SD card. But, like, I have more faith that if I were to delete them, that I'd still have access to them in 10 years than I do with Google and Stadia.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a different, 10 years could be one thing, but it's a difference in philosophy of how the games are being delivered to you. Like, you are not buying, I mean, realistically, you're not really buying the game when you buy a digital copy anywhere, but on Stadia, basically, you're buying the right to stream it from their servers.
For the cost of that game.
For the full cost of the game. If it were, like, half the cost, I'd be a little bit more tempted to, like, run with this more.
If it was a streaming service, like a Game Pass or something like that, I would actually check it out, like, sincerely. But, like, the Stadia Pro games are not games that I'm interested in. Like, if I try anything, I will try Sniper Elite a little bit, just because I've seen that game before and it looks goofy. But, like, I have no desire to play that game for hours on end, and none of the games that are offered for free are games I'm interested in.
No.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you really wanted to play Sniper Elite, you have it in your PS Plus library.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I'm also pretty sure I think it's actually available on Game Pass, too.
Probably.
But this is the instance of, I don't want to have to download and install it. It's there. If I can try it for free, sure, like, that'll be the one thing that's interesting enough to spend half an hour with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Amazon even came out like a week or two ago and basically said, any digital content you have purchased from them, like movies, you don't own, and they reserve the right to, like, delete those from your library anytime they feel like it, which is the same mentality Google will have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, frankly, like, a $15 movie, not as big of a deal as a $60 game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And most likely when that movie is no longer available to you, chances are it's gonna be available in streaming in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly. So yeah, there's that.
Go up from where we are. So go to number 10 now.
Why am I going to number 10 now?
Because we just did 11, go to 10, and then
No,
8
we
and
didn't.
9. Yes, we did. We did Spider-Man.
Yeah, we did Spider-Man like 5 things ago. We were just talking about Stadia at number 7.
Oh, I completely forgot we were... Oh man, it's been a long day. I forgot we were talking about something new. I meant to tell you to do that after we got done Spider-Man.
I mean, that was my plan. I jumped to 11 because we were talking about the PlayStation already.
Yeah.
And then
I meant to
jumped
tell
back
you.
up to...
I meant to tell you to go from 11 up to 10, and then 8, 9, 7, and then down.
Man,
No, that's
not even paying attention to the conversation in the middle of the conversation.
actually commenting. Yeah, you were commenting on it. You told me that you got one of the Chromecast and Stadia controllers.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
did.
man.
I was actively, but I was all about telling you to go backwards. That was on my brain. So never mind. Continue what you're doing.
They finally did it. BioWare has announced a remaster of Mass Effect.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this.
Yep.
Mostly for Mass Effect 3, because to get to get the quote perfect ending, you had to play multiplayer.
Well, they had. Wait, really?
Yes, to get the perfect ending, you had to complete portions in the multiplayer.
Well, then they'll get rid of that because there is no multiplayer.
So how are they going to do the perfect ending then? It's my point. Like, I'm interested what they're going to do with Mass Effect 3.
Well, keep in mind they also released that like patched ending too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is they even patched the perfect ending. They didn't patch how you get the ending. They patched and added, like, a little bit of story content for each ending, which was just slightly explaining it a little bit more. I didn't think the ending was terrible. I'm one of the people who thought that the endings were, like, reasonable. Like, people were just mad because, spoiler alert for however old Mass Effect 3 is, at the end of the game, no matter which option you choose, Shep dies.
I mean, everybody dies.
No. Well, yes. Because the endings are technically a couple hundred years post the game. But Shep dies immediately at the end of the game. And whatever choice you pick causes him to die and what happens from that point.
Yeah, so 3 is the only one of the trilogy that I actually never finished. I think I've talked about it before, like, I played all 3 of them after 3 came out.
Yeah.
And I just played them back to back, so by the time I got to 3, I was just a little burnt out on it. And I probably played like half of 3 before I sort of fell off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is actually cool. It's being called the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It's going to be Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, including the full single-player campaigns and all of the DLC. And it'll also come with the promo weapons, armors, and packs. And it's all remastered and optimized for 4K and Ultra HD. It's going to release on PS4, Xbox One, and we'll have enhanced editions for Xbox Series X and PS5.
Yeah.
And it's going to be here in the spring.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm excited for it, but
I am. I will definitely get this and replay those 3 games, because it's been close to a decade, and I never finished the third one.
Yeah, and like, I stand by the third one was good. Like, the ending, people hated the ending because it wasn't what they expected.
Yeah.
And that's nerddom. Like, it's not what I wanted, so I hate it, and it's the worst. But the games all played solidly. They all had, if any, minor issue. I don't think they really had major, like, issues like Andromeda did, at least.
I mean, they had the Mako. I mean, there was the Mako.
Yeah, but, I mean, that was, like, secondary. Like, you didn't really need to use that. I don't think that was really even in 2 or 3.
It was really just the first one, and you had to use it a bunch in the first one, and that thing sucked, but it didn't ruin the game.
No. But, like, Mass Effect 3 is what everyone hates, but they hate it because of the ending. And it's like, oh, it came out, and I'm like, I kind of knew that this was probably what was going to happen. Plus, Mass Effect 2, Shepard dies within the first 30 seconds of the fucking game. It's the opening cutscene. Shepard dies, and then you just magically rebuild him, and you're fine with that, but not fine with how the ending of Mass Effect 3 was?
Well, yeah, because he's rebuilt. Jesus.
He's rebuilt from atoms. Like, and has all his memories and like, it is the if anything, the starting storyline for Mass Effect 2 is the dumbest storyline out of all of the Mass Effect games.
No, it is about as science fiction-y as it gets. And frankly, Mass Effect 2 is like top 5 game of that generation.
Oh, Mass Effect 2 is a fantastic game. Just the starting storyline is dumb. I feel like him dying was unnecessary. Or they probably didn't expect Mass Effect to be as big as it was, which is why he didn't die at the end of 1. But maybe it would have been better if, like, his ship blew up at the end of 1 and they teased that he was still alive. And then in Mass Effect 2, they did that. Like, that would make a little bit more sense. I
don't know. It doesn't bother me that much.
No, like, it doesn't bother me that much either. It's just more of, like, if you're gonna hate on the ending of Mass Effect 3, you kind of also gotta hate on the beginning of Mass Effect, in my opinion.
Aside from it being announced, though, what a bad day to actually announce that. So N7 Day was this past Saturday, where everything in the whole world was overshadowed by politics.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they did it on N7 Day. Like, that's...
No, I mean, that's when you would do it, and it just so happened that the presidential election was, for all purposes, called that day.
Yeah.
Like...
I didn't even know that they announced that on Saturday.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
So I didn't know it until I saw somebody else tweet about it. I forget who it was. It might have been like Andy McNamara formerly of Game Informer, tweeting out that he was really confused why so many people were excited about the Mass Effect remaster, and then he realized that we had a new president. Mm-hmm. Along with that, though, BioWare also announced a new Mass Effect project was in the works with a veteran team.
Okay.
Don't really know what all that entails, but there's a Mass Effect project in the works, so that's probably going to be something.
Yeah, with a veteran team, so maybe it won't be broken. I've always wanted to go back.
Andromeda was a veteran, or not Andromeda. Anthem was apparently a veteran team too.
Yeah. But like, I keep wanting to go back to Andromeda to try it out now that they've fixed it.
Is it actually fixed? Because I was thinking of that same thing.
I think they did fix the issues, and like, but because it had such a bad release, they just, like, you never really heard anything else from it.
The like gameplay bug issues weren't the only issue with that game.
Yeah, I mean the game itself was bad beyond just the bugs.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard anything beyond just the bugs.
That's because it was so hard to get through the game because of them.
Yeah.
Like, it actually had, like, game-breaking bugs, where, like,
yeah,
you couldn't get past certain points because like, quest characters would die, and they would never respawn.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I kind of want to, like, play it if they've potentially fixed it, just to see, like, how bad it may actually be, story-wise.
So, I know it's usually pretty cheap. They also, EA Play just got rolled into Game Pass.
Yeah.
And all the Mass Effect games, including Andromeda, are on there.
Yeah, so if anything, I would just get Game Pass and play it on there.
Yeah, cause with that, because EA plays on there, you can also play Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But not Squadrons. I could have sworn I saw Squadrons on there yesterday. And then I went to download it today and it wasn't there. And I was really bummed, because I want to play Squadrons.
Yeah, I want to check that out too.
But it's like, it's a $30, like, dogfighting game. I'm just like, maybe later.
Yeah.
Like, I'm buying these new consoles, or at least one of these new consoles. Like, I don't necessarily want to drop $30 on a game that, like, I may only play for an hour and then never touch again.
Yeah.
So Drew.
Yes.
You played Among Us.
I did.
What did you think?
That game is hilariously fun.
Were you playing with people that you knew?
Yeah, so last weekend, me and my brother were in his Discord with all his friends, actually testing out in Tabletop Simulator a way to play PFL, or the Pay Dirt Football, whatever you want to... The thing that the league we're in that we call the PFL.
Yeah.
And his one friend jumps in to... Their Discord has multiple different voice channels. There were 3 people in a different voice channel. One of his other friends jumps into the voice channel me and my brother are in, and are like, yo, what if we merge channels and all get on some Among Us? So we do that, and they get 4 more people to jump in, so we have 10. And yeah, that game is hilarious. It's so much fun.
How many imposters did you guys play with?
2.
Okay, that seems to be the sweet spot when you have like 9 to 10 people.
Yeah. Oh, if it's only one, like, you're never gonna win as the...
I've seen one imposter win. You just have to be good. You'd be very, very good.
Yeah.
In a game with 10 people?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, as long as you're not caught or seen, and if every body you kill gets discovered, that's only 5 rounds. Not even.
No.
Yeah.
Well...
Unless you don't vote people out each round, it's only 5 rounds.
Sure.
So,
like, in a perfect scenario, but it very rarely works out where, especially like in the first round, it's unless somebody like is dead set that they think they saw something, it's very rare that somebody gets voted out the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drew, I don't know if you watched any of it, but for Extra Life, it was like Sunday morning or Saturday morning, I guess.
It was Saturday morning.
Yeah, Giant Bomb did it with like a bunch of like GameSpot and former GameSpot people, and it was very good.
Yes, I did watch some of that. I donated during that, actually.
Oh,
as
nice.
Well, so. Yeah,
like it was like 2 hours of them playing like 9 people and like going like through like the different maps and all, and just the amount of time where I watched Jan's view. So like every time he was the killer and like seeing who the other killer was always like the most fun.
Mm-hmm.
That game is even just fun to watch people play.
Oh yeah, I've watched a bunch of different like archived streams on YouTube of AEW wrestlers playing it, WWE wrestlers playing it, just different streamers playing it all together, and different speedrunners playing it together. It's a lot of fun, and that's why I was like, I want to play this, and paid the $5 to get it on PC.
Nice.
And like we only played the spaceship level,
like the default first level.
Yeah, But still, it's a lot of fun. There were a lot of times of people, completely fucking up and blaming a not imposter because they swore they saw something.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing. And I'd never seen this done before, but on that giant bomb stream, when Jan kept just killing people while he was in big groups of people, and then immediately blaming somebody else, and nobody actually blaming Jan for it, was fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rich, you've at least seen people play this game before, right?
I've played it a few times, just I've never played it with people I know.
Okay.
We should get a group all together and play it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because it's kind of like playing like an Avalon or something like that.
Yeah. Secret Hitler, werewolves, anything, any of those.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so this stream that me and Drew watched, this one guy, there'd be like 4 or 5 people kind of all like clustered together, like doing something, and he would just click kill real quick and just randomly kill one of them. And then when they got on the mics, he would immediately be like, I think it was that one. Like that I think at one point they blamed Vinny because he was looking the other direction.
Yeah.
And that was their entire stance, was like, we were all looking left, but Vinny was looking right, and now this person is dead. And it worked. And they jettisoned Vinny, and he hadn't done anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, other than Among Us, you also started playing A Link to the Past again.
Yeah, I've been playing through A Link to the Past because Sarah, we were in Target looking at games, and she was debating getting one of the Switch Legend of Zelda game. She eventually did wind up buying Link's Awakening,
which is apparently a very good remake.
But I was like, you could also just play A Link to the Past, because we have that. Cause she's like, I've never played a Legend of Zelda before.
I mean, she could also play the original Legend of Zelda.
She could also play the original.
No. Have her play Legend of Zelda 2.
No. Well, I mean, maybe now that she's played one in the series, she could go to that. I suggested Link to the Past because I could walk her through most of that game.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Like, I am playing that game with as much as I possibly can, not looking anything up. And I just got done the second dungeon in the Dark World. Or no, I'm in the second dungeon. I'm at the boss fight. I died in the fight.
Which one's the second dungeon in the Dark World? The swamp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I got to that boss fight, died, and then I was like, okay, I'll save. Because I'm going to have to go around and get fairies and whatnot and stock back up.
Yeah, especially now that you got the bug catching net.
Yeah. Fuck, I swore I went to every building in that town.
Did you go, since you're in the Dark World now, did you go get the flute so that you can fast travel?
Yes.
Good job. Remember when we didn't know what an orchard was?
Mm-hmm. Well, I couldn't remember how you got the shovel at all. You get it from him, but in the Dark World. And I was like, oh, okay.
So Rich, when we were like, I don't know, 8 or 9, Drew and I were playing.
Younger than that.
So I moved out of Woodland right before I turned 10. And I know we were playing in Woodland.
Yeah, definitely.
We were playing this game together, and we were in the Dark World, and we were trying to find the flute for this kid, because the kid's on the stump, and when you talk to him in the Dark World, he gives you a shovel and asks you to find his flute. And he just tells us it's in an orchard. We didn't realize at the time that just the whole area he was in was a fucking orchard. Mm-hmm. So like we literally pulled out a dictionary to look up what an orchard was. Cause we were like 8 and just didn't fucking know that word. And then proceeded to dig every single spot in that area until we found the flute. Cause
I mean, digging every spot to find a flute is absolutely reasonable, I'm sure.
Only a few times I very clearly remember the screen transitioning while we were like halfway through an area. And then when you transition back, all the holes are refilled. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Now I just know exactly where it's at. I just go to it.
See, I wouldn't, because I've never made it all the way through, or actually, I don't think I've ever actually played Link to the Past.
It's on the Switch online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking play it. It's so good. It's such a good game.
There's a lot of SNES, or a number of SNES games I do want to get into playing.
That's like a must.
Yeah.
Especially, like, you played Zelda 2.
Look, I played Zelda 2 because I wanted to see how absolutely unbearable and ridiculous it was. And honestly, I mean, I got pretty far. I'm at the very end of the game, but it's just, that's where it's completely unbearable to me, at least.
Yeah. Link to the Past is basically the template for every other Zelda game.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first Zelda, like, you can really just do it in any order. Like, there's an order that you should do it, but, like, you can really go to any dungeon. Whereas, like, A Link to the Past is the one where it's like, alright, do these 3 things, and then you can get a sword, and then things will change, and then do, like, 8 more things.
Yeah. I mean, they're also the very... I feel like the first ever open world games are the Legend of Zelda games. That, like, you can do anything at any time, and you have other side quests. Like, they are the classic original open world games that, like, a lot of people who are playing video games should just try at some point.
Really, like, there's the term Metroidvania, but, like, frankly, like, A Link to the Past came out before both of those games that are considered Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
And, like, that game has the same, like, quote-unquote system. Yeah, like, you can't go to a thing until you get a thing to move that thing, or what have you.
Yeah.
Like, you need a hammer to, like, knock down the fucking stumps, or you need the power glove to lift the boulder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or you need the flippers to swim to the thing. Yeah. That's a good game. Right when they released the SNES stuff on the Switch, I played, like, in the span of, like, an hour, I ran through the first 3 dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, I've done those 3 dungeons in particular so many times that I can get through them pretty quickly.
Yeah. I was having trouble in the Dark World dungeons, just kind of explicitly remembering what to do.
Yeah, those are the ones
I
that...
don't remember them as much.
Like, the first 2, I'm good at. But, like, oftentimes in that game, I've kind of, like, fell off after doing those. Like, I've played through the whole game before. But it's usually, like, I'll get real into it up until, like, the 3rd or 4th, or 2nd or 3rd dungeon in the Dark World. I'd be like, I'll come back later, and just, by the time I come back, I'm like, I'm just gonna start over, fuck it. Like, I'm in the middle of this dungeon, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. I'm just gonna start over. I am very bad at the 3rd dungeon boss, though. The snake on the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. Like, I am just fucking awful with that boss. I get knocked off of his little area so fucking often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got knocked off probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, like, I got to the point, the last time I played it, I stood on the ledge and threw bombs and just hoped for the best for a while. So Rich, just because you never played it, like every other Zelda game after it, like, you collect 3 medallions that then let you pull the Master Sword. The final dungeon for the final medallion, the boss, like, the whole dungeon is one of those dungeons where if you drop through a hole in the floor, you fall to the floor below it. And if you're unlucky, you might fall multiple floors.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get damage or anything like that unless you fall on something that hurts you. But, like, depending on how far you fall, you might have to go through puzzles again because, like, it's the red and blue switch puzzles.
Yeah.
The boss is on, like, a little island kind of, like, floating where, like, the whole perimeter of it are holes that you fall into if he touches you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of those giant snakes that just kind of, like, you know, randomly spins throughout the area. And his weak spot is his tail, so you can only hit his tail to damage him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough. And, you know, he gets faster the more damage he takes and everything.
And the tail is, like, 1/5 of the size of the head.
Yeah, that
like,
too.
It gets... Each segment gets smaller, and
And he'll occasionally, like, he's not purposely spiraling up, but, like, just based on, like, the AI that's given to him, that thing will often kind of, like, form a ball, and it just becomes damn near impossible to hit the tail without getting hit and potentially knocked off the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's a good game, though. I like it.
Same.
Yeah. Are you going to play through the rest of it?
Probably. Although, I guess we'll see how much I get sidetracked getting the PS5 tomorrow.
That's true. That is true. Have you played any of the other, like, online stuff on there? Like, to any, like, substantial amount?
Not really. Actually, I mean, I had to listen to, like, this recorded conference call thing on Friday. I think that was during work. Maybe that was actually even Monday. And I beat Mario 1 during that call.
Nice.
Like, with the warps. But I was like,
yeah,
fuck this. This is boring as hell.
I mean,
playing Mario 1.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the World 8 is the only world that actually takes any time anyway. So, like, warping to it, like, that's the majority of that fucking game.
I did that once. I was like in a stupid conference call that meant nothing or something. I don't remember what it was, but I grabbed my Switch and I played the original Star Fox, which only takes about 45 minutes.
Is that game that short?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's multiple paths you can take, and depending on how good or bad you do, like, it gives you a ranking at the end of the game. It's all about, score than progression.
Okay, I've only ever played bits and pieces of the original Star Fox. It was never like it was never a game that I particularly had any like feelings for.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a little bit of breaking news from a few hours ago. Xbox tweeted out, the official Xbox account. We can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X.
Is that from the picture that somebody blew vape smoke into their Series X?
I'm assuming so.
Like
the one that
blowing up.
Yeah, I assume so. They then followed that tweet up with, for any non-vape related support questions, please check out the info, and it's the Xbox support Twitter account.
Don't people realize that it's vapor, it's water vapor? You don't put that stuff in electronics?
But it's a vapor chamber.
Yeah, it's just, like, fucking... I hate people.
I saw something online earlier. I was trying to find it while we were recording, but I couldn't. That, like, somebody's review copy of PlayStation of the PS5 is completely bricked.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things that there are apparently some different issues, like some known issues out there for both consoles. I guess some Xboxes, people are noticing like a clicking that might... So, people thought it was the disk drive, but it's being reported on the Series S too, so it's something else is loose and broken inside of it. There are some game crashings happening, or some console crashes happening on the PS4 if you try to put it into rest mode while Spider-Man is running.
Oh wow!
And apparently, if you have an external drive plugged in, every time it does that, it has to like do the whole like recovery check on the external drive. So like yeah, like weird shit like that is happening. Which I mean, it's new hardware. Like there's bound to be problems.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna swap these last two also, just to get the last news bit out of the way. So Mads Mikkelsen may be taking over the role of Grindelwald in the final Fantastic Beasts movie from Johnny Depp.
I support Johnny Depp, so I mean, I probably wasn't going to see that movie anyway.
I thought that movie got canceled.
I'm now more so than not supporting that movie unless they bring Depp back and get rid of what's her name in Aquaman.
Yeah, so a lot of this seems to be stemming out of Depp lost a defamation lawsuit in the UK over from the newspapers that were reporting that he was the abuser when it actually came out that it was Amber Heard who was the shitty one. And WB asked him to leave the movie, which he did. He still gets his paycheck for it though.
Yeah.
So he only filmed one scene, which will probably be reshot because why wouldn't it? But he still gets like an 8-figure paycheck, so it doesn't really hurt him at all.
Yeah, but still, it's part of the WB are making the wrong choice here. Yeah,
and I don't know for sure. I feel like this is probably one of those WB moves where it's like, look, dude, you've just got bad press going on. This is supposed to be a kids movie, so we need like not bad press around us. Because this fucking creator of this shit is already fucking all that up. Those are not good movies, though. Like, honestly, Depp is lucky that he was asked to leave it and didn't have to just break his contract, because the last one was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate, or I liked the first one.
The first one was fine.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but I never saw Crimes of Grindelwald, and it was bad. It was bad, and like that's also the start of like realizing, oh, J.K. Rowling fucking sucks, and maybe try not to support a lot of her shit anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like, all the actors in those movies are actually very good.
Yeah.
But, like, just that story and that sequel was not good at fucking all.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I like Mads Mikkelsen. Like, I don't know that he would be the right fit for that role, though. Like, even Johnny Depp seemed a little too eccentric in his portrayal.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I always got the impression that Grindelwald was, like, I don't know, like, kind of charming and stuff. Just, like, the way he was talked about in, like, the books. And, like, Johnny Depp's portrayal made him seem just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, Mads plays, like, crazy, like, seductive really well. Like, he was Hannibal for like 4 years. So I don't know, but I guess we'll see if that actually even happens, or if that movie just gets fucking delayed into oblivion because they don't review well. I think they still make money because they have Harry Potter in them, but like, they're not making Harry Potter money.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, you finished season 4 of Supernatural, Rich. How was it?
Yeah. So, we're not going to get into Kaiju Cast this week because I didn't get a chance to watch my next Kaiju movie.
You're a failure.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You have one job for this show every week. It's come prepared to talk about a fucking giant monster.
Look, I started watching it, and it got to a slow start, and then I found out that Biden won, so I stopped watching it to watch the news about Biden winning, and then kind of just got distracted doing and preparing for my later night things. And then I just watched Supernatural all day Sunday, to where I just didn't get around to watching Godzilla again. But yeah, I finished season 4, which is when the show kind of starts to go off the rails and get pretty much absolutely insane. We already knew there were demons because there were demon hunters and ghost and supernatural hunters, but now angels are real, which they didn't know they were real. And Dean was brought back from hell. It's brought back to life from hell because the angels need him. And I think maybe more than 3/4 of the way through the series, you find out that there's a guy who can see their exploits and writes them into books they're graphic novels called Supernatural in the show. He is a prophet from God writing the Gospel of the Winchesters.
Wait, say that one more time?
Yeah, I'm letting that sink in. The boys are going to be part of a new Bible in this world, and they are part of the Winchester Gospel.
That's really fucking weird.
Yes. It just kind of goes off the rails. Not really in a bad way, but like, I can see where, like, playing off of some of the things that happened from this make it get to be a little bit too ridiculous in a few seasons. To where, like, from what I've heard, like, season 7 through 10 kind of suck. And it's playing off of what's going on now, I'm sure, like, expanding that way too much. Because, like, that is canon now. They're gonna be in the new Bible. Like, it's dumb. It's weird. And, the angels wanted the apocalypse to happen instead of stopping the apocalypse because they want the Winchesters to kill Lucifer so that we can have paradise on Earth. How the fuck do you get 10 more seasons if you have paradise on Earth because Lucifer is dead?
Well, I mean, have you never watched any of these other shows? There's always somebody that picks up the slack after one big bad is killed.
Yeah, but, like, it's fucking Lucifer. Like, he is the head, he is the god of devils and demons, like, in this world. And when he comes to Earth, that starts the apocalypse. But if you're able to kill Lucifer, because this is what is in, like, Rapture lore, when you kill Lucifer, like, you are then thrusting paradise on Earth, and Earth will be all happy and there will never be any issues or something. I don't really know. Fuck the Bible. But, like, it's just so weird. Like, the episode where they found out that they were, like, book characters, I thought was great. And there are some still good episodes, but, like, I can see where it starts to, like, get a little too weird, and I can understand it. But I'm still enjoying it, and from what I've seen online, there's an episode later where they're wandering around the set of on an alternate reality of the show Supernatural. It's dumb, but it's good. Yeah, it was weird. The season ended with, like, a major cliffhanger with Lucifer being released, and then that was it. So I'm interested to see where it's gonna go from there, but I'm gonna take a couple week break from Supernatural and finally get Disney Plus and watch Mandalorian, and there's a few other things I want to watch as well in between.
Man, we both know that you're not gonna watch anything over the next week.
True.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna watch, like, The Office or something.
No. I mean, that's the thing. I am gonna watch The Office at least one more time before the end of the year. But, and it's gonna be a sit down and watch. It's not gonna be like going to bed and watch. it's going to be sit down and watch The Office at least one more time before the end of the year. Because it's leaving Netflix and fuck getting any other streaming service than the ones I already have. And Disney Plus.
Fuck getting another streaming service immediately after you said you're going to get another streaming.
That's a streaming service I've been wanting to get and been meaning to like fully get into. But like fuck Peacock is really all I'm saying. Like I don't now there's two because that's where The Office is going, right? Peacock.
Yeah.
And that's where Parks and Rec is. And literally the only reasons I would have Peacock is for those two shows, and that's it.
Saved by the Bell.
I don't care.
And the gritty Fresh Prince reboot.
I was never a big fan of Saved by the Bell. I will openly say when I was a kid, when I was younger, I hated Saved by the Bell.
God, you're just the worst.
I found it dumb. I hated Zach Morris. I love Zach Morris's trash. That is a great, like, I think College Humor runs that channel, or did, I don't know. But that was a great thing, because it shows you how terrible of a person Zach Morris is. And that's why I hate the show, is because its lead character fucking sucks.
But no, I mean, so, Peacock is actually a complete waste of money. It is not worth 1 half-hour comedy.
No, or 2, because I think that's where Parks and Rec is now.
I'm honestly not sure.
But it's not worth it. I'm not going to get Peacock. I will wait until that shit goes back to Netflix, or I mean, I'll find new sitcoms to watch on. I've already found a few new sitcoms to watch when I'm going to bed and stuff that like I'm fine without them. But I'm shaking because I really need to watch my Parks and Rec. But I don't know. Parks and Rec isn't even on Hulu anymore either. They took it off everything.
Yep, it's only on. I think it's Peacock.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Supernatural season 4 was good. I think honestly, so far, season 3 still stands out as the best season in my opinion. I don't know if it's because it was the shortened, more streamlined season because of the writer's strike, or if it was that good. I don't really know if people agree with me on this one, but me personally, I really strongly believe like season 3 was so far the best. That's also when it started to pick up and become mid-season 2 is when it started to become like more silly and acknowledging how dumb it is or ridiculous it is, and then season 3 just embellished it more. Season 4 was just kind of grittier than other seasons and kind of darker. I was just like, you went good in the right direction for a season and a half, and then you just like took 3 steps back. You need to get back into that like goofy middle point that you had, that goofy serious middle point.
Yeah, which I mean, I knew the show had like a serious tone at times, but like just based on everything I've seen, I always just assumed like the whole thing was just kind of campy.
Yeah, and like there are some campy aspects. I think, was it this season or last season? I can't remember which one. There was a season that they had a changeling that would change into monster movie monsters. So you had the common "I want to suck your blood" vampire and like Wolfman and things like that, and not what you would see in this world. And there are some campy episodes, but for the most part, it's just sometimes it just takes itself way too seriously, and it shouldn't. Yeah,
I get that. I feel like once you get like to like the later seasons, it probably stops taking itself actually seriously.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that from what I hear, they like build upon the whole like Gospel of Winchester thing and the prophet stuff like more throughout throughout the rest of the series. But like that's for me, I'm just like that's just weird. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Just don't. Because now this is a running thing that, like, I'm sure they weren't expecting 15 seasons when they created this part, where it's like the gospel. I'm sure they weren't like, oh, shit, we have 10 more seasons left of this. No. But, like, this is just a weird trope that you're gonna have to follow throughout the rest of the series.
Alright.
Yeah.
I probably won't, but, you know. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Shout out to Joey Chiu, who got the first PS5.
Right, yeah, you did. Yeah.
He was the first in line for the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. So Sony sent him his own PS5 with like on the plexiglass around it, protecting it. It said Joey Chui, first in line for PS4, first in line for PS4 Pro. patience is a virtue. This is for you. Play has no limits, and it's a PS5.
Yeah, that is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. And the article I saw about the person's PlayStation completely bricking was on Screen Rant, so I don't like Screen Rant, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that is probably a show.
Yep, that's a show.
All right. Well, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with dollars, you can head over to your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, all those fun platforms. You can rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All those things help a whole bunch. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Twitter and Instagram. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can send us emails to social@one-quest.com. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about, probably PlayStation 5. So thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.